Waka waka, Miss Piggy, love you. Pig 2, can't wait to see it. That was a nice one. Okay, I'm up here. Richard. Oh, wow. Kermit the Frog just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes?
It was a pig joke.
Keep my fucking wife's fucking name out your fucking mouth. Okay?
I'm going to, okay, waka, waka. That was the greatest night in history of television, people.
Go fuck yourself.
I'm 12% shaft, 110% tip. Alright, on that note, welcome to Blab Rats, the show where we play recordings of broadcasters who were the subjects of government experiments. My name's Host, and I'm sitting here with the man, and the man behind the scenes, and the man sitting down next to me, and the man who bowled a turkey last week, Producer. What's up, Turkey? I mean, Producer.
About time. I've been hunting that turkey my whole life.
Oh, yeah.
I'm starting to feel like, Captain Ahab.
You want to talk about it a little bit? Let's say big up small talk.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still riding the high. We were down.
We were down almost 3 turkeys.
We were on the last frame, right? Because that's how that works. And I just had to do it. I got 1 turkey, nailed it. Or
Yep.
I got 1 strike, nailed it.
Third of a turkey. You got the breasts. You got both the legs right there.
I got 1, I got 2, and it all came down to that last one. And Big Jim, the guy that we were bowling against, said, "Oh, put a curse on you. You can't do it." And I said, "I don't know, Big Jim. I don't trust those Cajun curses of yours." And he said, "Oh." And then I rolled it, and it went in. And it turkeyed. And boy, did Big Jim have a traditional Cajun shit fit.
And Big Jim was ROFC, rolling on the floor crying. He was so upset. He's such a little baby bitch. Not in a good way. Anti-shout out. This is a public reprimanding for Big Jim. A pub rep.
Dotes.
Anyway, on to darker subjects.
Listen, I gotta tell you, speaking of darker subjects, we've had quite a run here. I was doing some editing of the shows and
Producing as you will.
yeah, as you do. We got Dubers barely hanging on by a ball sack.
Yeah, by my ball sack.
He's made out of testicles. You're not whole. You're missing some ball. You're missing part of your scrot.
Yeah, but that's what
we've got.
Give and let give.
We've got, we got deplatform. We got served some papers and deplatform. We got our intern dipped off on us,
trying to deplatform our tapes.
and then we also have the missing tapes. We have just had a lot of heavy duty dark stuff coming our way, and I just thought, boy,
beyond coincidences.
Yeah, there's definitely some dark secrets happening here.
Secrets.
The yucky secrets, nasty, yucky, stinky secrets that smell like a bunch of like a bog that got pooped in by a big bear.
I mean, yeah, it is funky. The vibe around here is funky, and that's like a bear deuce. And I just figured we could use something nice, something light, something to bring us back to our roots, to our childhood.
Right.
Not anything that's gonna stress us out or be dark or depressing. And luckily, one of the tapes I found, I think has just what we need. Just kind of like light-hearted, fun, good, warm stuff that'll take us back to our childhood roots. And I found a tape called Sesame 2 Street. Not sure if it's like a sequel to a Sesame Street thing or not, but little pun.
How's that spelled on the tape?
Sesame, like the word sesame, then T-O-O, and then street. So maybe it's a play on words. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Maybe there's a break or a new producer or director or something. But why would the government be doing an experiment up in it?
Well, because they want to get to the kids, I think.
Get them all young, indoctrinate them. Make them think that the government is just a part of their lives that they can't do anything about.
Yeah, and they'll believe it.
They almost got me when I was young. But then I dropped out after kindergarten. Started wearing leather jacket and smoking cloves. I mean cinnamon sticks. Smoke cinnamon sticks.
Once you make it to, I heard once you make it to first, it's over. You know, like they got their hooks in you at that point.
For real. We need to do any sponsors before we get to the them tapes.
No, we'll do that afterward.
All right. Today's show brought to you by The Afterword. Join us as we discuss what happens after we listen to the tapes that we play. That's Blab Rats Afterword, after the tapes. Listen through this podcast, and we'll see you on the other side of the tape when we come back during the Afterword. And also by Valvoline Oil Change. Come get your oil changed anytime for free. Just use Blabcat code load and give your mechanic the stink eye, and you'll get it for free if you drive away before you ask for payment.
Yeah, and slap him quick.
Doesn't matter if you got the new oil in or not, just go. You don't have to pay for time in their garage. Sure, free oil drain.
Yeah, if they didn't get the oil in, I mean, definitely if they didn't get the oil in, don't pay.
Yeah, don't pay.
Anytime. Even if it...
Drive away.
Regardless of this discount or not, if they don't get the oil in, you don't pay.
This will be the last time we are sponsored by Valvoline. Producer, let's roll them tapes. There are good rats. There are bad rats. But we Blab Rats.
Brick City, New Jersey. The 2 blocks north of Slauson Avenue and south of Crenshaw Boulevard on Sesame Street. The area was a mix of skins and furs, but it was a quiet, humble neighborhood. That was until the late 1960s, when both blocks were inherited by a slumlord named James T. Henson. And while those 2 blocks didn't look like much to passersby, the denizens of Sesame Street would partake in a never-before-seen docu-series that would change the course of puppet-based entertainment forever. It was here that Big Bird, Grover, Cookie Monster, Oscar, Bert, Ernie, and yes, even the Count took America by storm in the late 1960s by welcoming us into their neighborhood.
Welcome to Sesame Street.
Salacious acts of Muppetry. The rise and fall of one of edutainment's most loved and promising shows. Today on Below the Magic, we take a look at what was happening behind the scenes of this beloved children's program. Jim Henson was a wizardly spindle of a Cockney nickel and dime flim-flam man. He grew up on a creek, a small town backwater tributary of the Mississippi. One of 15 whelps and no stranger to creek life, Henson had to fight to be seen. By the age of 12, Henson had set off on the waterways to grift his way to a fortune. And grift he did, up and down the old Mississippi. After a life of conning men, he finally hit the big time when he wooed, subdued, and triple splooged, gooed or goo-gooed or cooch up old lady Scrooge Haversham, getting his name on all the official Scrooge Haversham documents for the neighborhood. Shortly after the wedding, the wealthy land owneress passed away, and those 2 blocks of Sesame Street were all that remained of the once great Scrooge Haversham real estate empire. I'm Oscar T. Grouch, OG cast member. I was born on Sesame Street. It was always a multi-species neighborhood. In the old days, it wasn't common to have a neighborhood with Muppets and meatbags living together. We mostly just kept to ourselves, though. We were skeptical about the meatbags, if you know what I mean. But they have such beautiful garbage. They eventually won me over. Good garbage is always the surest way to a grouchy's heart. That and your mama's stinky garbage meatballs.
Oh, we all grew up there together. My lover Bert's family lived across the hall from me and Ernie Sr. Grover's family lived in the basement unit.
Things were alright at first on Sesame Street, but toward the end of the 60s, things were getting out of hand. The Muppet human tension was at an all-time high. Social unrest was on the rise, sure. Acts like Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, and Fozzie Bear had gone mainstream, but you never saw those guys at award shows or on the covers of newspapers. What the fuck, man? And if those Hollywood hotshots couldn't catch a break, how do you think things were on the street? You know what I'm saying? Not great. The black people were at each other's throats, but life was tough on Sesame Street. People were tired, people were struggling. Worse, people weren't throwing out their garbage. Lots of Muppets picked up nasty junk habits. I was barely getting any garbage. I mean, people were living in trash cans talking to worms, for God's sake. I knew something had to be done. We needed to unify to show the world letters and numbers and what spelling is and how to do it. Because that's what matters. People don't care about politics. They need to know what stuff is orange. And then Jim inherited the neighborhood, and that's what we did. Me, Big Bird, and the rest of the Muppets, whatever the meatbags' names were.
Bob. The human.
And together, Muppet and Human, they let the cameras roll, and Sesame Street took the youth culture by storm. Big Bird was the clear breakaway star, becoming a household name. Oscar was the grouch everyone loved to hate. They even attracted big stars like the Muppets and Harry Belafonte. They were pop culture icons living on the top of the world, or so it seemed. Grover recalls when things took a turn.
Well, the jubilation of our young fame had begun to wane. It was then we realized that Henson had us dead to rights, you see. The leases we had signed were dreadfully terrible. We'd inadvertently signed away all our intellectual property rights, renters' rights, and publishing in perpetuity. We even signed away our perpetuities. And we were being run ragged. We were starting to crack. Me full name Cookie Tea Monster. People say me cursed to be cookie addict. People think me happy. People think how Sesame Street on camera, how Sesame Street off camera. No one know what happening behind scene. Things so fucked up. Cookie smile for camera, eat cookie for camera, but cry at home. No amount Cookie make pain go away. Cookie go on Tonight Show, meet Carson, Cookie meet women. But Cookie not make enough money to feed self, let alone fuel crippling cookie addiction. So Cookie turned to street.
But as so often happens, success comes at a price. And Cookie and Grover weren't the only ones who were blue. We had made it. We put our neighborhood on the map. Those first few years were great. Everyone loved us. We loved each other. We went to all the celebrity events, slept with models. It was an endless party, like an episode of one of those seedy Hollywood behind-the-scenes shows. And like one of those shows, I knew it couldn't last forever. There would be commercials and credits because it would have to start and end at some point so another show could start. If you know what I'm saying? I fucking hated Big Bird. I bet that asshole said, people are living in trash cans. Shit, didn't he? He always doing that shit. He took to Hollywood like toilet paper to an asshole. Brought Snuffleupagus with him everywhere. On a fucking leash, I might add. Always had that elephant kissing his fucking ass. You know, back then, he was just real shitty. Real shitty guy. He made comments all the time about Bert and Ernie. Being, you know. Anyways, Hanson was, really the one, though, who was robbing us, to be real. He was the one pulling the strings. But it was the Big Bird's bullshit attitude that made things go sour. It always had to be about Big Bird. To him, it was the Big Bird show featuring Sesame Street Gang. And Hanson let him think that Bert and Ernie have been having a hard time being in the closet like that, not being able to be yourself. They both handled it differently. One joined the gang, and the other joined a cult. Grover always felt he should have been the star. That's why he's doing all this jackass stunts all the time, trying to get all that fucking attention and shit. And Snuff, you know, well, he was living in the big shadow of the Bird, man. I mean, Bird was no help. Getting in the way. Snuffleupagus should have been a star. Hell. Cookie, poor Cookie. And the Count, I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, he was a vampire for fuck's sake. What do we think was gonna happen if we let him around kids with kids' blood? To suck. It wasn't long before we all wanted out, really. But, Hanson owned our fucking asses. Something called the legal system, contract law. The Muppet can't hire a good lawyer in this, fucking country. The contracts were airtight, unlike our asses, which were wide open, gaping hole. We were trapped, like a puppeteer's hand up my ass, while I'm delivering a monologue. Like a sex toy stuck so bad in your rectum you have to go to the hospital. But they only stick another hand up your ass at the hospital is what they don't tell you. Nobody took any of this news out of the cookie. And that guy went deep. Low. Below.
C is for cookie. C also for cocaine, which Cookie used to fill love-size hole in Cookie-size heart. When Grouch and Bird fight, Cookie make peace. Cookie become glue that holds Sesame Street together. But Cookie no want be glue. Cookie want huff glue. And Cookie want eat cookie. Cookie want eat glue and do cocaine. And smoke glue. Cookie want do glue suppositories. And gamble on Cookie.
Big Bird and Oscar were at odds with each other, while the rest of the cast floundered. The complex mix of fame and financial stress was getting to everyone. Bird and Ernie discussed the atmosphere at the time.
Big Bird and Oscar were at odds with each other, constantly. Everybody but Big Bird was at odds with Jim. For some reason, Big Bird could never do wrong in Jim's eyes. It drove everyone else crazy. I always wondered what Jim had on Big Bird.
I don't know, Ernie. Maybe they were lovers.
Oh, Bird, stop. You wish. You know my theory. Rhymes with scare, turd.
Oh, the werebird rumor. Now who's dreaming, Ernie?
Oh, you're probably right. Now, where were we?
Cookie.
Oh, Cookie was stuck in the middle, and no one else cared. Grover was too busy planning for his EGOT.
Grover believed he had all the skills to be a leading man, and felt slighted by the attention Big Bird got. He talked all about acting work he'd done, but he carried himself in the manner of a classically trained actor. But it was the biggest act of all. As far as I could tell, he was taking planes with other famous Muppets like Gonzo and Yoda to exclusive chicken islands and doing God knows what. Probably chickens.
Snuffleupagus wouldn't really talk to anyone.
Well, he couldn't.
Right. I never got that guy. Oh, the tellies.
Oh God, there was like 17 different tellies. Those are like almost always different Muppets. A lot of people don't know that.
A lot of Muppets look that way. It's fucked up to say, but it's true.
Ah yes, the infamous telly train. It seemed like a new telly every day of the week. Me not know till third telly. Fozzie Bear even make joke in that stand-up routine.
Waka waka, what are you, a telly over there? Tell your uncle. Real talk, guys. Some of us got a telly uncle. Waka waka, every Muppet's got at least one telly in the family.
There was Television, Telesavalas, Telemundo, Telenovela.
I banged a telly or two.
Telling me about it. And I guess that leaves boring old us.
Well, we had quite the journey.
Of course, back then, we couldn't be together.
I didn't even know it was an option.
It's the classic closet gay love story. If one joined a gang and the other joined... One joined a gang... One joined a gang and the other joined a cult. And while we eventually met in the middle and got to business, it wasn't always business as usual. At times, it was incredibly risky business. Unusually.
Yeah, we did a lot of unusual business back in those days, and we couldn't tell anybody. It was a big secret.
Do you remember that time in the cockpit?
Oh yeah, that was a club we used to go to all the time, where all the guys were. But we'd see each other there, and we'd have to see each other on set the next week and pretend nothing happened. But everybody knew.
Everybody did it back then. At Studio 69, it was crazy
Cookie.
back then.
Cookie would be in there. You know, Oscar,
Suck a dick for cookies?
sucking anything for cookies, really. You know,
Sucking cookies for ass.
putting ass in his mouth for cookies, putting cookies in his mouth for ass.
This guy was a fucking freak.
You know, I didn't know what to do in our younger days, so I joined a cult, and that really got me into thetans and all that kind of stuff. I had thigh issues.
We might have to back off from the thetans and cult thing.
I had thigh
The
problems.
Tidget says they are. They might be thotons.
So I joined Satan's army, which was a cult back in those days. And they were Scientologists, which meant, you know, you had to focus all your energy on your thighs. But as a closeted gay man, drawing my attention to thighs was not a problem.
This guy loved a good Daisy Dick. I mean Duke.
Yeah, I like it. I like when the shorts are shorter than the ball sack.
And yeah, I joined a gang. I'm not afraid to admit it. There's Hex Angels and still some of my friends to this day.
Yeah, the Hex Angels are real supporters of the gay community.
Yeah,
Closeted gay community, that is.
yeah, they don't like it when you come out.
No, they would prefer you stay in there.
So, that's why you say, what the heck, Angels?
Yep. What the heck?
Angels.
And then, you know, we carried on like that for a while, and then eventually we met each other in the cockpit, and that's when things got pretty real.
It was a magical night.
But yeah, most of all that happened before the letter F segment.
Oh, yeah.
The infamous letter F segment. Everyone wanted out of their contracts. People were underpaid, overworked, jealous, and on the verge of a walkout when the ill-timed letter segment aired.
Okay, kids, who can tell me what this letter is? That's right, kids.
What kids? Did you start the segment without me?
That's right, Oscar. Because the segment started at 5, and what letter does the word 5 start with, kids? The letter F.
I'll show you the letter F. I'll F you right in the fucking stupid beak with my D, you yellow son of a bee.
Hey, talent.
After the letter F incident, the studio got involved. The press caught wind, and at the end of the day, Henson's unscrupulous business practices were laid bare for all to see. When the dust had settled, the Muppets had gotten what they'd wanted: fair pay, health care, and the respect they felt they had deserved. The cast was ecstatic, but the jubilation wouldn't last long. Henson had one last trick up his sleeve. He decided he was going to pull an extra from the background cast and give him a starring role on the show. The message was clear. Everyone was replaceable. This was a trick Henson and the show would continue using for years to come.
Almost all side characters spiked higher. Abby Cadabby, Fox Mulder, Rosita, Slimy, Ed McMahon.
Couple tallies, the most recent Grover, Murray, Sam the Eagle, Jimmy Vivino, Hooch, lots of spite hires.
My name is Ganga Orange, and I am a spite hire.
But one little red monster was the first. And just like that, a small critter named Elmo took his big throne on Sesame Street.
Sup, I'm Elmo Esparza. I've always lived here on Sesame Street. One day this Henson asshole wants to give me hella money. I'm like, fuck, I'll fucking get down. Elmo likes hella money. When Elmo has hella money, Elmo gets hella trim. Ha 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 ha. Smoke hella trees. Does his Schmarter dance, you feel me? And you know, that's just once you make they make Elmo a star, ratings go through the roof.
The Elmo era had officially begun, and the audience was listening. Ratings were through the ceiling. Henson's cast shakeup did more than put the cast of Sesame on notice. It made some cast members downright mad. Following an on-set outburst of anger misdirected at a PA, Grover became the first cast member that wasn't a telly to leave the show.
Am I going to walk around and rip your acid lights down in the middle of a scene? Then why in the pooping hell are you walking right to? How-da-da, like this in the background. What the shitting fuck is it with you? What don't you fucking understand? You get any mixing idea about, I'm buns and distracted having somebody walking up behind Bryce in the middle of a goddamn scene? Well, give me a fucking answer. Oh, bugger off. What did you get about that?
Me.
I think Grover had enough. Most of us were surprised he lasted as long as he did. He just didn't seem to have a place there.
Well, there was already a Blue Muppet, wasn't there?
Guy always claimed to be working on his craft. Only thing I ever saw him work on was craft services. And his shaft services.
My name is Grover T. Lawrence Olivier. I am a classically trained actor, you know. Baird's Marionette School under the Bill himself. I know everything there is to know about the art of stage. I played Higgins in an off and on Broadway production of West Atlantic. I played the great Hagolitus in The Bard's Mount Olympus. I've trotted the same boards as Gigio and Lamb Chop, and frankly, it stifled me to be there in this children's show.
Also, the fuck is going on with that accent? This comes from Paramus.
Me not know why they hire new Muppet to keep playing Grover. Me already Blue Muppet, Grover redundant.
After the new contracts, the money was nice, sure. I was upgraded to a pretty big new dumpster, more trash in a landfill. It helps. For a time. But if we thought the new money was gonna make us happy, we had another thing coming. At one time, Big Bird was in Jim's pocket, but since the F-word thing, there was a rift between them. And the new kid was getting all the fucking limelight, right? Also, Henson had all but left the show. The Bird saw a chance to take over Jim's role, and the rest of us had seen the writing on the bathroom stall. I started directing episodes, B&E started producing. If we wanted a future here, we need to start taking ownership of this place. Ironically, the whole thing brought me and the Bird closer together. Meanwhile, Jim is literally fucking disappearing on my ass. I used to see him throw a banana peel to me every other day, but now I just saw him a day here or there, and then weeks, and he'd never bring a banana peel. Half a month, blah blah blah, just grifted his way across the fucking con belt, you know. That's to say, the Catskills, to Reno, down good up Saskatoon way, Regina, all part of the con belt. But you know, he was pulling fast ones, slow ones, medium ones. Cincinnati stop and goes, you name a con, he pulled it. The Grip to the Magi, Con Beyond Zebra, Swindler's List, the Fleece Witherspoon, the Straight Up Cheat, Sizzler's Pull and Peel. He did the Reverse Cuomo twice in Albany. Hustler's Ambition and the Midnight Defrauder in San Francisco. I remember that outside the con belt, but he pulled it off. He was that good. He mastered all the classic cons and even developed a few new ones along the way. He was able to try out and try to expand the con belt.
Elmo era also Cookie era. Elmo Cookie new friend. Elmo take Cookie meet new people. He introduced Cookie to all his very cool, nice Hollywood friends.
The kids out with the likes of Johnny fucking Depp, Ezra Miller, Shamu, Lee Iacocca.
Lee not leave one iota of coca for anyone else. And he say, I am Lee and I owe a coca to you, and I owe a coca to you, and to you. But he never give coke. Our friend Joey Buttafuoco complain all the time.
This Elmo kid was a fucking gold mine, but fuck me if the kid wasn't a goddamn train wreck. Snorting everything in sight, smoking whatever he couldn't snort, and then shooting what he couldn't smoke. And keistering what he couldn't shoot, and tasering himself while he did it, while he's snorting. You know, stuff he couldn't shoot, the keister or tase into his ass. He would try to drink. And it's this fucking stinky ass cycle, vicious stinky cycle, and I even like the stinky stuff, but this shit was wacky dacky do. And he was taking fucking Cookie down with him. I mean, Cookie's got his own problems. Like, he doesn't need to know you can snort cookies and inject cookies and huff cookies and do what's that one? Cookie gravity bongs and freebasing cookies, and he was even eating the dough. And yeah, I saw him smoking dough once. That was fucking ridiculous. Anyway, The entire time Hanson's coming and going, grifting and conning. Turns out old man Hanson's sick, right? And nobody knows it until it's too late, right? We thought he was grifting out of love, but they were desperate grifts attempts to outfox the wolf of death. One October 13th, Jim T. Henson passed away in his sleep, like a coyote, in the night.
They say it was cancer, but I think we all know it was the guilt and stress here at the show that killed him.
I think it had something to do with him stopping eating bananas. If I'm honest. Henson died from a rare form of workplace cancer. He had kept it a secret, even from HR. Doctors say a new job would have saved his life.
Really makes you think.
My name is Biggie T. Bird. I met Jim Henson when he moved in with old lady Havisham up the block. We hit it off instantly. I was always explaining numbers and words to kids, and he was always watching, just watching there in thrall. One day he comes up to me, says, "Kid, you really got something there. What say we get a couple of cameras over here, and instead of just teaching the folks around Sesame Street about what words and letters are and how numbers work, you can teach the world." And that's what we did, with his vision and my showbirdship. But yeah, it wasn't enough for Jim. I don't think anything was. Or maybe the whole thing was just one big con. Bilk a bunch of Muppet kids out of their money? Once he stopped getting over on us, he didn't care. I used to think Jim loved this place. Now I know it was the biggest grift he ever grifted. Hell, go back and watch some of the old episodes. The words aren't even spelled right half the time.
F-S-A-T spell fast. Wait, that's not right. Who producing this? Of course, there are some folks who think that Jim is still with us. And not in that, if you keep him in your heart's way, neither. But, well, it's the werebird theory. You know, the werebird theory, right? The WBT?
There have long been rumors that Jim Henson and Big Bird were one and the same.
You tell him, Ernie. You tell the best stories.
Oh, thanks, Bert. So the story goes like this. Early on in his career, Henson's working on a commercial set, right? Some law office or something. They have a pet bird on set. But it's not some normal bird. It's not a rubber ducky either. It's all diseased or something. It's just totally gross.
Yeah, it was the human parrot. Old Jersey oddity, right? I swear it's like a goddamn Traumaville out there. So Jim's on set and shit goes sideways. Bird gets on Jim. This human parrot gets a hold of Hanson, wrestles him in a sleeper hold, pulls him out, steals his clothes, glues feathers to Hanson's skin. The human parrot walks out of the commercial shoot totally unnoticed by anybody that wasn't a fucking Muppet, right? So nobody's listening to us. And he's never seen again. The human fucking parrot is currently on the top 9 list of Americans most desired by law enforcement.
Henson gets a scratch, right? Gets infected by the sick bird, huh? And becomes a werebird, which is essentially like the bird version of a werewolf. Or a big bird, if you will.
I heard the bird is hypnotic and entrances Jim, who dresses in a big bird costume, posing as a Muppet.
Me think him have Muppet fetish. I heard they were twins, and just one of them has a weird disorder. It's prestige situation.
Elmo here, the United States government has been performing fucked up experiments on screen and radio performers for years, with the intent to control and subdue the minds of the populace. Pete Davidson is the new MK Ultra dog.
Apparently things got so bad for Jim, he woke up one day being trafficked by a human as an exotic animal.
People go as far as to say that he discovered Muppets on Sesame Street trying to hide in plain sight. This, of course, raises issues with many today that feel Jim appropriate of Muppet culture. But ultimately, even if Henson and Old Yeller were one and the same, they were still two very different people. And if Big Bird was Jim once, he isn't anymore.
I am now and have always been Big Bird. I am not and have never been Jim Henson. I'm a 7-foot bird, for fuck's sake. I'm not Jim Henson. Jim and I were close, but now I just wonder if he was just using me. After he passed, I saw it as my chance to rise to the occasion, be the leader we needed. I helped charities, raised money for the underemployed, united the troops, for Christ's sake, ate the unhoused. But no matter what I did, all anyone could talk about was Elmo.
The mania of Elmonia was gripping the nation, and the Elmoniacs were swarming the Sesame Street, making it hard to film. The show had begun pimping out Elmo merch as far as the eye could see. Toys, clothes, bikes, video games, feminine hygiene products, anything you could refer to as swag. But nothing made a bigger splash than Tickle Me, Elmo. The quintessential must-have Christmas gift for a generation of spoiled dickheads.
Can you imagine if I made a toy about tickling? I mean, he had a tickle fetish. Everybody knew it. Now kids are tickling him? Gross. Just gross, man. And all of this somehow gives Elmo more pull with the board at PBS, and all of a sudden he's making the creative calls. Those should have been creative bird calls. Big Bird calls.
He started a genre of cult called New Mup. He was teaching kids power chords and how to tune their 8-string.
New mop, cause fuck Fred Durst. I'm bar with the bind and all that shit too. But I'm doing it with like kid instruments, you know, but also with like flying V's or Marshall stacks and shit.
And if that wasn't enough for the bird to deal with, Snuff got snuffed out, man.
Snuffleupagus died. Suicide. Snuffed his own ufflagus. Now the Snuffleupagus guy are extinct. I didn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. Something that big and that fake can't die that easily.
We've been through so much. We went through more shit than we went through tellies. We needed a breather bad. The Sesame Street gang needed respite. But there would be no rest for the Wicked. Because just as things seemed to be gelling with the surviving cast, the other shoe dropped.
Here comes the drop.
Quit smoking glue and start listening to
The deranged ravings of lunatics once again on
Blab Rats Radio.
Janitor's number one choice.
These wascally blabwats are at it again.
Turn the vacuum off. Put the mop down. Blabbing for you since 2022.
Now back to the madness.
Kid was watching Sesame Street today. I was like, is that the count? Doesn't he have, 35 accusations? Waka waka. Waka waka. For someone whose name and job are the count, this guy never gets higher than 17. Have you guys seen this? Ask Jeeves, the count, and Virgin Blood.
Fozzie the Bear was working out a bit like he had done hundreds of times before. But this time, it was recorded. And it went viral. And while rumors and even lawsuits against the count had been written about for years, this was the first time someone said it out loud. And apparently that's all it took. It was clear this time the public was watching. And for his part, Fozzie has kept pretty tight-lipped on the situation, save for one passing comment.
It was kind of insane, man. When you're doing stand-up bit, you don't expect that kind of result from it. Waka, I was just doing a bit, waka waka, talking about some things that I thought was, so it's a pretty intense situation.
The whole world was talking about Fozzie's bit. But it wasn't until the whistleblower reached out to TMZ DC that the true investigation began.
I will tell you. Okay. I sat silently by for too long. Too many have. Okay? Sesame Street needs to be repaved. Huh? The bird's an asshole. The kid and Cookie a guy are dangerously addicted to a great many things. None of these self-described monsters should be near children, yet we revere them. But no one is worse than the Count. He has been grooming, enchanting, and neck-biting featured actors for years, drinking the blood of the innocent, then turning into a bat and flying away. Getting invited into trailers and dressing rooms using enchantment only to turn into a wolf and pee into a corner. He was constantly a creep, literally creeping around you. You'd be in the dressing room and hear something, ha! And look in the mirror and there was nothing there. Nothing in the mirror, but then he would turn around and as if out of nowhere there he would be, right behind you. It's time to arrest the Count. Cancel Sesame Street and green light the Tally spin-off. Not that I care or anything, ha! But he seemed like the best. The first one, ha! We at TMZ were anonymously sent the video from the whistleblower, and immediately we got the investigation underway. What we discovered during our investigation was that people did not love being ambushed at airports or while they were shopping and being asked deeply personal questions about their parenting and children's well-being, or the individual's childhood traumas. We also learned that doing that wasn't getting us the answer we needed. Journalism. Mr. and Mrs. Lindholm, did the Count turn your child into a vampire? Is your child a vampire?
Leave my family alone, please.
But this is journalism, and we won't stop until we find the truth. Mrs. Jones, excuse me, journalism here.
Oh my God, no.
Did you take a cash payout for the
I'm not
PBS
talking to
organization
you
to keep
guys.
quiet about the
Oh,
disappearance of your son? Mr. Jones, Mrs. Jones, do you and your PBS have a thing going on? Journalism.
No, I'm not talking.
I declare, journalism. But eventually the truth did come out. And it wasn't good truth.
I mean, fuck.
SHIT hit the fan.
TMZ reporters conducted ambush interviews with up to as many as 120 victims and their families. And subsequent reporting, police reports, and lawsuits against TMZ DC indicate as many as half of them were victims of the Count, to one degree or another. The victims and their families have suffered greatly. They were harassed at their jobs, their homes, their doctor's office, outside religious establishments, at their schools, and when we weren't harassing them, the internet trolls laid in, accusing them of profiting off these tragedies, claiming they were doing it for attention, or as some part of an anti-masculine conspiracy to tarnish the centuries of old legacy of a great leader of men. Oh yeah, he's like hundreds of years old, right? And he had a country. To be fair, his country was more of a sparsely populated, barely inhabitable region, right? But apparently he dictated the shit out of it. Men's rights guys love that shit. They eat it up.
After the Fozzie video exposed the Count, no one even remembers my Jinkum debacle.
What's that word if you can't tell? And Elmo's here, it's time to spell.
Oh, okay. You see the word?
Yes.
What's it say? Hug. This says hug.
No.
Those are F's.
F's.
Oh shit. Huff. This is what it says. It says, ooh, you know what, you guys? Elmo can tell you some secrets. You know what, kids? You have everything you need to get high inside of you.
You mean like I am light?
Elmo, no. Elmo will tell you, bitch, you can get higher in your whole life for your own shit. Everyone's like, you gotta score some shit. Let's go score some shit. The shit is the shit that you save all your pees and your poops in an old 2-liter and you let that shit get ripe. And then take a huff. Ooh, shit. Now you're huffing with butt, baby. Huff spells huff. What Elmo do? Where's Elmo? Here, what you do? Sit right back and huff some poops. Me.
The Count's actions did more than distract from Elmo's bad behavior. It ruined lives and tarnished the legacy of Sesame Street. For the first time, the world was seeing the real Count for the first time. They wanted to know who he really was.
Audition tape for Count Ivan, whenever you're ready. Hello, my name is Count Ivan, the 1, 2, 3, 3rd.
I am the math teacher here at Sesame Street, even though I always sucked at math. I am a vampire, as you may be able to tell from my two big fangs. And because I am a vampire, I have been alive for many hundreds of years. Maybe someday we will count that high together, but for now we will start small.
The exact birth date of Ivan the Embowler is unknown, but he ruled violently over a small queefdom in the Balsac mountain foothills until the First World War. The Count conquered the region with a series of well-timed plague-adjacent land wars in the 1600s. He received the name Ivan the Embowler for a torture method he invented that involved disemboweling a victim and feeding their entrails to another victim. He would then disembowel the freshly fed victim and embowel the next, and so on.
You gotta understand, we didn't know.
I didn't know.
We didn't know. Me not know.
He was doing what?
We didn't know. Nobody knew.
I didn't know.
I couldn't believe it.
It kind of made sense.
I kinda knew.
I totally knew.
I was there.
I was involved heavily. Oh,
I need to call my lawyer.
Oh, everybody knew. I mean, not exactly, but we knew there was something wrong there. I mean, the guy's from another time. Seriously, he's undead.
According to the reports, it started as simply attempting to drink the blood of fellow actors on set. But by the end of his tenure on Sesame Street, the Count was attempting to amass a child army that would make him the Fort Knox of virgin blood.
This Sesame Street. There are puppeteers everywhere, so this place is lousy with virgin blood.
And it was clear that the Count was after one thing. Virgins. Capital VIRGINS. And even though this is show business, a surprising amount of these child actors are still virgins. Not to mention the puppeteers.
V is for virgin. That's good enough for me.
So some Muppets are more monsters than puppet, and this guy is basically Proto-Leto, Jared Leto, the worst of the Letos.
The revelations about the Count rocked the Muppet world. Muppets, new and old, spoke out.
Gonger is new Muppet. And new to Sesame Street. But Gonger know when he see wrong and wrong is wrong and Count is wrong.
Second by this Yoda is. People know they don't Muppet I am. But Muppet I am. And Monster the Count is.
Thank God his teeth were made of foam.
I heard it eat, but her sweet as he said, for her to be toward her, what he.
Those last few weeks with him on set were awful, I gotta say, and awkward as fuck.
I mean, me have to spell it out?
GIULTY. That's right, kids. Elmo's so proud of you. Guilty. More or less.
What is this bullshit? Is this about me, you little red rat?
Hey man, I'm literally on trial for 3 separate crimes right now. This could be about almost any of us.
As we are all aware, the Count was found guilty on all 165 counts. Since it was the record-breaking trial of the century, we won't get into the sordid details of the trial. Suffice it to say, the Count was sentenced to death by the High Court of Snakesville. However, the death penalty has been overturned, and the 3 life sentences also hang in the balance. Could this traitorous monster somehow see the light of day? We can only pray. He does, because he's a vampire. Just days after we wrapped editing this special, one of the many emails and calls to the Count's legal counsel was returned, and we would be getting the first and only exclusive interview with the Count. So we delayed the release of this special and made our way to a top-secret facility in a basement a half-mile below the New Jersey State Prison and Hotel.
Prisoner 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
locked in, cleared, ready to go.
Coming at you live from the top secret hidden facility beneath the New Jersey State Prison and Hotel, I'm here with the Count himself, and he is behind a bulletproof glass barrier, arms and legs shackled by chains to opposite walls. Count, thank you for taking the time out of your day to speak with us. Much respect.
Well, I don't have a whole lot to do these days, huh?
It seems like you have been busy in the courts getting these charges overturned.
Yes, the death penalty was overturned thanks to two jeopardies.
That's right, and since you technically died years ago in the Ballsack Mountains, they cited double jeopardy and got the charge reduced to...
1, 2, 3 life sentences.
Correct, and you are hard at work on appealing those. What do you say to those that believe you have lost your right to live free?
I feel like I was pretty upfront about the whole vampire thing. And I did think it was weird how well received I was, but I figured I just had people all wrong, you know. I've got a rare condition in this day and age that forces me to make these terrible choices. Don't you see? It is me that is the victim of a system that does not understand.
But these accusations reach back to your living days emboweling the people of the much maligned Ballsack region. So it would seem this behavior predates your condition, Count.
But those were different times. People were feeding their enemies their entrails all of the time, and no one was saying anything.
So are you arguing that your condition is that the times changed and you did not?
Yes, this is correct. I am frozen in the past by the time of when my ballsick death.
Well, then you should be frozen in a prison of hell.
But I am.
What?
I'm an undying person chained to a wall for eternity. That's pretty hell.
Frozen. I emphasize the frozen part.
Well, figuratively speaking, I guess.
No, I mean literally.
The air conditioning is pretty high in here. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 degrees lower than is optimal for the Count.
And how many more sexual perversions would you like to perform that would satisfy the Count? I'm asking you to enumerate your response.
Even that is a number the Count cannot count up to.
You're a pervert and you're a bird brain, even though you're dumb.
Am I the stupid one? Or is it you who is stupid for have fallen into the famed bat trap?
If I was so stupid, how could I be a narrator?
I have summoned you here, fool. To be my first meal, and for the world to see you die.
Don't bite me, bro.
Oh my god, he's getting up.
Bro. Oh my god.
All right, fire.
Oh my god, he's levitating.
Oh no, Hanks is down.
How? You aren't supposed to use your supernatural bat powers.
They're going to kill.
You're supposed to be the Count. All you do is math. Simple math. What are you... This isn't... I don't... No. No, down. Down the Count. Down. My voice will live on forever as I narrate my own passing. Don't bite me.
No! I want to ask you one question.
What is it?
Do you know the sound a person makes when you stuff their countrymen's intestines down their throat?
It's kind of like a flute or a whistle.
No, it sounds like this.
That brings us to the one place all stories must go. To the end. The 2 blocks between Slauson and Crenshaw on Sesame Street are our target now, where you can still buy a Tickle Me Elmo for your spoiled shit-faced dickhead. For now, the Count is serving consecutive life sentences, although something tells me he'll never make it through that first one. Cookie Monster cleaned up his act and started getting into activism. Cookie even spoke in front of congressional hearings, not once, but 2 times. First for a fentanyl review board.
These statistics are glaring indictment of corruption that run rampant in pharmaceutical industry for years.
And second was on behalf of Defund the Police.
Cookie say these statistics glaring indictment of corruption that run rampant in policing in this country for years. Even though Cookie clean for years, Cookie face undue discrimination from prejudiced law enforcement officials.
Along with hosting his own podcast,
This is the Double D List, and we're your hosts, Bam, Elmo Esparza, and Mario Lopez. On today's episode, we sit down with Kid Rock and talk about his problems with Hollyweird.
Elmo continues to be a mainstay on the puppet club circuit and an avid recreational drug user. Telly T. Novella wrote a tell-all about their time at Sesame Street. It topped the New York Times bestseller list for 7 months. Telly followed that book up with a tell-all, exposing the secrets of the tell-all book publishing industry called Tell All, Secrets Untold. Spoiler, they don't tell all. Grover won an Oscar for his portrayal of Oscar the Grouch in the award-winning biopic Moonlighting in Newark. There is a movement on Twitter to get him cast as the next Superman. Bert and Ernie started their own cult. It's called A Gang, a way out of peachdom for those needing a new way of life after a life as a peach boy. Oscar T. Grouch is still moonlighting as a bouncer at Newark's hottest nightclubs. Although he has seen mild success as a playwright, he has 2 grandchildren. Gonger opened up his own brick-and-mortar restaurant on Sesame Street called Methamphetamine, realizing his dream of one day owning a business that isn't an automobile. Ivan the Embowler is serving the first of his 3 life sentences. While news from the prison has been quiet, prison staff say late at night, in the bowels of the Snake Valley Correctional Facility, you can still hear the sound of ah. On next week's episode of Beneath the Magic, we look at the life of one of the Muppet world's wisest voices.
So ashamed I was of being a Muppet, that lie I did.
We reflect on the isolating reality of being the first Muppet in space.
Push people away I did, until too late it was. And all alone I felt.
And the toll those dizzying heights took on the humble green puppet.
Realize I did rock bottom I hit when pool of hooker blood I woke up in.
And yes, he even gets into that behind-the-scenes story from Star Wars.
Fit in with Star Wars guys Yoda didn't. One night at a party, out of his mind on coke Mark Hamill was, and off did he bite my toe.
These broadcasters have no memories of the words they read. Thou hath been warned.
Again, I gotta host, I apologize. That was a lot darker than I really had foreseen a Sesame Street themed episode being. I
went to the bathroom to cry.
It's almost like
Into the toilet, I had so many tears. I had nowhere else to put them.
it's almost like it mirrored a lot of the scandals that had permeated our pop culture and in the non-fur and Muppet side of show business in a way. Boy, that Cookie Monster, huh? That guy's a wild child, huh? Who was your favorite?
Did they say that he wrote a book? Or was that someone else?
That's Telly, I believe. I think Telly wrote a couple books.
Well, if Cookie Monster wrote a book, I would read it. If somebody hasn't written his biography, I would jump on that because that is a brilliant idea. Listen to his story. The man's a poet without articles.
Would you record the audiobook for him?
Oh, hell yeah. Heck yes.
Although I feel like you kind of want to hear it in Cookie's voice, you know.
Oh yeah, you got Cookie to Cookie.
Me name Cookie.
Cookie on Cookie. That's Cookie on Cookie.
It's a dark and stormy night.
In my younger and more vulnerable years.
It was best of time, it was worst of time. Cookie Monster, wherefore art thou?
Before where art thou? Cookie Monster Romeo. Yeah, I don't even know Shakespeare. Man, we should be doing Fast and the Furious, man. Cookie Fast and the Furious.
Cookie live life 1/4 mile at a time.
1/4 cookie at a time.
Nothing more important than family to Cookie.
Mi familia.
Except Cookie.
Coronas and cookies.
I mean, you know who should be voicing Cookie Monster's Vin Diesel.
Me love you, Brian.
Anyway, welcome to the afterword.
So who was your favorite of the Sesame Gang now that you kind of got to know who they really were?
Oh, Gonger is my number one. He's my man. I love the food he cooks. I love his vibe. He's like a Philly fanatic. He's basically a Philadelphia mascot, but he's living in New Jersey, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I like that. I like the attitude. I like the Philly attitude.
Do you think that Gritty and Gonger are related? They're both G names. They're both orange and long furred.
They're definitely at least second or third cousins, because I don't think there's that many.
There's not that many Muppets.
Orange Muppets.
Or Muppets in general. It's a small.
And that's recessive.
Yeah. That's true. They're gingers.
So, recessive Muppetry.
They're ginger Muppets. They're related to Carrot Top too, I think. Who's also half Muppet. People don't know that. He's a prop comic. Of course he's half Muppet.
Yeah.
He's a prop comic. That's what people don't get.
He's the puppet with the hand too, you know?
Yeah. He's like the Blade. He's like the Blade of Muppets. He's like a daywalker. Dude, Carrot Top as Blade.
Blade 5.
Yeah, and he was like a Muppet
Oh my gosh.
daywalker. Yeah. And there was like a bunch of Muppet vampires.
A bunch of counts.
Which I guess brings us to the count. I mean, man, who knew what was going on behind the scenes there? And again, I guess he is like an undead monster.
Before the episode, I would have told you the count was my favorite. After the episode, I don't know
Yeah.
what to think. I think maybe classic, I'm a Bert guy. I mean, Ernie guy. Ernie, not Bert. Ernie guy.
I'm an Ernie guy. Ernie's my guy, yeah. I was always an Ernie guy as a kid. And having heard him here, it made me like him even more, you know.
So yeah, what was your? I mean, that was fucking. I mean, it started fine. It was troubling, but not troublesome, or the opposite, I guess. But troublesome but not troubling. I don't know. But then it got dark with the counts, sexual deviance.
Yeah, this guy was just trying to collect kids to suck their blood. I mean, that's just that's some pretty dark stuff, you know. Makes me glad they've got the new characters like the Rositas and the Abacadabbys in there taking over. Maybe that's why they weren't in there, you know, because
it's kind of like a.
This is before their time story, so they don't have a skin in the game.
To make up for it, though, those characters do give away kids' blood.
As charity work.
To kids and to adults too sometimes. Like if Peter Thiel needs it, or somebody Peter Thiel knows, then they can just give them kids' blood.
Got it. Do you think that if you inject young people's blood into you, you'll want to go to Coachella more and more every time you do it?
Coachella, or even some festival you haven't even heard of.
Yeah, Nochella's good.
You know, Nochella or Brochella. There's
Ooh, Brochella sounds awesome. Just Dave Matthews Band and
and the Brochella's there too. But that's kind of like and then there's Jawchella.
Ooh, Jawchella, and
that's dub scene, dance hall, dub. We got the
reggae.
Mystic Life tent is there with a weed with the 3 colors on it is cool as sick. Selling the Rasta hats with the Rasta hair attached to them. That's a sick fest. Go to Jawchella. Highly recommended.
I would definitely go to Jawchella. Do they play any Rocksteady there? Is there any going to be any Rocksteady bands?
They got a Rocksteady stage. A Rocksteady tent.
Oh,
Excuse
wow.
me.
Yeah, I would think tent too, yeah, these days. Dance hall's got to have a stage.
And it's kind of about a living Irie life.
Mango, let me give you some love.
But, yeah, I've heard that's one of the effects. Also, you want to drink a lot more juice boxes, particularly Capri Sun, where you do it from the bottom of the pouch, if you know what I'm saying. You stick the straw on the bottom, and you suck it up.
You do it doggy style with the...
Yep, doggy the Capri.
I've never done that before.
Really?
That seems like it would be... No.
It's a way better way to drink the Capri Sun.
I mean, of course it is. It's a much easier way to puncture it.
Yeah.
You just pop it, don't stop it. You gotta pop it, don't stop.
Yeah.
Wow, doggy styling in the ocean.
Doggy Capri Sun.
I cannot wait till the next time I get one. I'm just gonna raw doggy style one of them things.
Oh, yeah.
That's incredible. Well, hey, look. Even though it was a dark and twisted road, it took us back to our childhood after all, huh?
Yes, it sure did. To our dark childhood.
Drinking those Capri Suns.
Yeah.
Drinking them Capri Suns. Doggy style.
Sucking on oranges.
Sucking on oranges. Getting that juice any way you could. Which brings us to our first sponsor tonight, Florida's best damn oranges. You're going to want to get these oranges in your juice. Call us. Ocean Spray. Call us. Florida's best. Call us. Better made brand juices, you know? That's Florida's best damn oranges.com.
And also sponsored by Juice Teens. A cool new club near you. The only teens that juice.
Just teens. Juice teens.
Yeah. Just teens. Hey, teens, you drink juice? Come on down to Juice Teens. And Juice Teen, make tonight a Juice Teen night. Join the club at juiceteencult.com today.
Come on. Come on. Oh, I got it. Come on, teens. Get juiced up. This episode also sponsored by Adrian Brody, the worst good actor alive. Go to adrianbrody.com and get a 50%.
And vote yes on euthanizing Adrian Brody.
Go to kill it. Go to Adrian Nody right now and vote to have Adrian Brody banned from being in Hollywood pictures for the rest of his life.
Banned from being a good guy.
Yeah. Banned from acting terribly anymore. Just pick if you want to be good or not at acting.
Pick your lane, man.
God damn it.
Are you good at acting or not,
Are you good at acting or not, man? Just make up your mind.
Fucking figure it out.
I don't want to, like...
Acting is about choices, and if you choose to act shitty in a shitty fucking movie, then you're a shitty actor. Okay, shithead? I'm talking to you, Adrian Brody. Up your fucking game, bro. Okay? Come on. You got this. Schwartzman, I'm talking to you too. You fucking up your game.
Yeah.
Sick of this shit.
Was what you guys should be.
Y'all got it all. Y'all got it all. Bring it. Bring it. Bring it soon. Where are you in the Fast and Furious? Come on, guys. You gotta be doing your own Fast and Furious. You gotta get in there. Brody and Schwartzman in Fast and the Furious 11. Come on.
They'll be in the poster. We'll have two ones making up the number 11, and one of them will have Brody, and the other one will have Schwartzman. Also, they would be great.
The return to the side profile.
They would be great in a Twins remake.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Schwartzman and Brody, calling Schwartzman and Brody, Twins remake. Think about it, okay? If you need consulting.
If you need consulting, we're twin experts because we're
twin experts. We're obviously twin experts and consultants and all that kind of funny business that doesn't make sense, but you pay me for it.
Everyone knows we're the twin guys.
Oh, so Brody, Schwartzman, up your game. Think about doing the Twins thing. Think about Fast and Furious or like something like really quick and angry, something like that.
Mad Speed too.
Yeah, Mad Speed. Think about doing maybe doing it with dune buggies.
Mad Speed 11.
Anyway, also sponsored by Clubbing for a Cause. This week's Clubbing for a Cause is down at Studio 69. Come on out on Saturday night and bring a expired canned good and we'll throw it out for you. A Clubbing for a Cause. Also sponsored today by the Stink Doctor. He gets rid of any stank that you got on you. Just send him a little piece of sock with your stank on it and then he'll send you back the cure. With a prepaid envelope attached to it, says right here. That's the Stink Doctor. Give him a whiff of you.
He's got a PhD in PU.
Today's show also sponsored by the new comedy House Dogs, starring Chevy Chase as a boxer named
Brody,
and Tim Allen as a smart-talking Chihuahua named
Felipe.
In the new comedy House Dogs this fall, only in theaters. IMAX. Woof woof. 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 House Dogs. Woof. Alright. Anything else before we wrap tonight, producer?
No. I think that was a lot. That was a bit of a doozy. I'm a little like, well, it kind of zapped me.
Yeah, doozy zap.
I got doozy zapped.
Yeah. Well, for your doozy zap, I can only recommend 3. Ask your doctor about doozies, how to cure your doozy zap today. And ask them about ulceritis, the new pill to treat your doozy zap. All right.
I will try it.
All right, and this concludes. This concludes this episode of Blab Rats. Until next time.
This is be my new thing. Watch. You do the thing. You just watch after you'll see.
Blah 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 blah.
Pew.
Oh.
Pew. It's like I throw the mic.
That's your Letterman pencil.
Yeah, he throws the pens. I push the mic. Where'd you go now, Mike? You're like.
Blah 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 blah.
Blah 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 rats.
Fucking cat in the background like a dick. Katrina.